Aye. Those opposed? That motion passes. All right, appointing of a new Drainage Board Secretary.
Mr. Vice President, I move that we appoint Tara Wood as our new Drainage Board Secretary.
I will second that motion. Any comments from the appointee? Just welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That passes. Zach, other business?
Yes, thank you. Just real quickly, I want to let the board know that we do, and currently are hoping to finalize actually today, the draft meeting minute date, or draft drainage board meeting dates for next year, 2023.
Zach, I don't think you're
Sorry, thank you. Yes, so what I was saying is that my office has been working on draft meeting dates for next year's Drainage Board meetings, and I will have those to the board hopefully later today as a draft for your review. And then once you have a chance to review them and make comments, our intentions will be to have those Drainage Board meeting dates and TAC meetings and submittal dates on the Drainage Board meeting for December the 7th. The next item I had was an update on Saul Hempstead, and I think we have some residents from Saul Hempstead here today. I just want to let the board know I did receive a email from Nick Miller. Nick did send an email to me after our last Drainage Board meeting in October. The email is dated October the 12th. I'll just read it real quick. He said, hey, I wanted to make you aware I've been in contact with Cheeseman Incorporated as they were the contractors for the HOA used last time to clear out the detention pond. As soon as I have more and have a date set to calculate the amount of debris removed, should be within a week, I'll pass it on to you. So I just wanted to let the board know that, and then I'll turn it over to the board for any questions, and I think maybe we have some public comment, so.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Yeah, just on here, I think I actually had the date wrong on here. First off, I am Nick Miller, President of Saul Hempstead Homeowners Association, and as per our meeting here last time, I did agree that I would try to keep you guys informed as much as possible and stay on top of this issue. So I have first on here that Zach was notified, I guess it was on the 12th, I'm sorry, my apology on that, that the HOA has been in contact with the same excavating company that performed the clean out in 2017, 2018, that is Cheeseman Incorporated. Also on here is some notes from the HOA meeting that was held this past Wednesday. We discussed the detention pond. The HOA members were apprised of the previous work done, as there are people that have moved into the neighborhood and were not aware of what was done years ago to clear out that detention pond. We had a discussion on putting together a special assessment to cover any overages from what we have in our current checking account to cover any expenses for cleaning out the detention pond. It was unanimously agreed that this is our first and foremost priority as a homeowners association to get this taken care of. We will also be entertaining bids from engineers for advice on not only bringing the spillway and output areas into compliance with the approved county drawings, but also to kind of provide us with some advice on future maintenance so we don't have to have this issue again. We want to make sure we can stay on top of this. It is difficult because it's in a remote area. So not a lot of people in the neighborhood walk down there and are, regularly checking on it. So I feel the homeowners association feels that it would be a good idea to have some input from an engineer to figure out what kind of timeline we need to look at for going down there and seeing what can be done regularly to make sure this doesn't become an issue in front of the board again. The HOA will be having an additional special meeting this coming Monday, November 7th, to discuss the engineering bids that we will be receiving this week and any special assessments that will be done once we have an evaluation estimate, which should be tomorrow from Cheeseman. The last two notes on here that we're currently waiting information for evaluation and timeline to figure out how much debris is to be removed and when they can get started on that. And then we will be in contact, probably Zach, since I have your email. I will forward you the information of any agreements that we have with engineers to get that taken care of. I believe you gave Lee a a list of engineers to discuss.
Yeah, I
So-
just gave him the ones that frequently do business in our office.
So we discussed that at the meeting, and we were all in agreement that we need to probably have an additional engineer come out. Now, I have not heard back from Cheeseman if they have somebody that is qualified to do that assessment also. I would assume they have somebody that's somewhat qualified, but we want to make sure that we're using somebody from your list, since they're people that are
Yeah.
regularly used here in the
Right.
county,
Right.
and people you're familiar with.
You
So
can use whoever you want. I'm not making recommendations.
it gave us a great start, so we appreciate that
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, Lee just asked me if, for local companies, and I said, well, you can see them all in the Drainage Board meeting minutes, they're all right there, because they do work, they submit work to our office all the time. So I would recommend always, as I do to any resident, to seek at least 3 quotes from 3 different companies and go from that, go that path, so.
He presented that information to us at the HOA, and we took that into account, and that's what we're doing. So if there's any other questions I can answer for you guys, we just want to make sure we're keeping you guys up to date on this progress.
Thank you very much for the update. We
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Yes.
I'm just curious, does the red line kind of outline the properties that are in the HOA?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
the red line is the primary property line around the entire homeowners association. The yellow line is the lot number that actually includes the detention pond, and of course, the detention pond there is blue.
So the subdivision to the north of you, to the south of you is not part of
No.
this? Okay.
No. In fact, you could, the red dots along the street there, which is frontage road that loops around, those red dots are the storm sewers that directly drain into that detention pond.
Okay. Okay.
Just curious, Zach, has it been offered to them to possibly turn this into a regulated drain? So eliminates this headache down the road for them, or is this not possible that this could be done or whatever? Just curious. Like Shepherd's Point or something, I guess
Sure.
I'm just trying to think of.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. And my answer is yes, it was discussed early on, there several years ago. We haven't talked about it lately, no. As long as the HOA is active and wants to continue to take care of it, that would be fine. But just to answer Commissioner Byers' question, Nick, you as the president of the HOA, I will restate this. If you and your HOA, the members, would like to pursue converting the storm sewer infrastructure in your development, which would basically be anything outside the public road right away. Those are public streets in there, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were. So, which, the reason why I'm splitting that hair is because if it's public streets, then the county highway department would maintain the curb inlets and storm sewer pipe within the road right away. Then anything outside the road right away, swells, piping, manhole structures, beehive structures, and I don't know how much is actually outside the road right away. I'd have to look at that. It looks like most of the structures are inside the road right away there. But anything outside the road right away, including the detention basin and the outlet pipe and the spillway, the emergency overflow, that could be turned into a county regulated drain if you guys wanted to. That option is available to you. All you would need to do is request from my office a petition to create a regulated drain, and we would provide you with a watershed map, which would look very close to what you're looking at now, a landowner list, and then you would have to take it, or someone would have to carry that and get signatures. We would want to see state of Indiana drainage law requires 10% of the benefited acres within the watershed to sign the petition. We would ask that you obtain at least 50%, because the Drainage Board in this county historically wants to see the majority of the benefited acres in support of the project. And then assuming that could be accomplished, and you return that back to my office, I'd present it to the board, that we would do an inspection, evaluation, put together a maintenance report, maintenance estimate, and then it would go to a public hearing. Notification would be provided. It'd go to a public hearing. A maintenance, a county regulated drain would be established, and a maintenance rate would be set. And what that would boil down to on everyday landowners, homeowners, they would receive a drain assessment on their property tax bill every year, basically, until it reached the ceiling. Each fund has a cap on it. Once it reaches that, it shuts off and becomes inactive. So that's generally the process. That is available to you and your residents that you represent if you so choose to seek it. So it most certainly is available.
Okay,
So-
I appreciate the information. Thankfully, I have another member of the HOA here today, so we will discuss that Monday also.
And I think to say it in simple terms is that once you get this back to where it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
in retrospect, you guys can forget about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know how much money you have to come up now because of this cleaning or whatever you're paying in this dish assessment is going to be basically cheaper in the long run.
Yeah.
I appreciate that information. That,
Yeah.
that will definitely, I know that's the concern of a lot of the people in the HOA is, you know, originally when we had this done, 2017, 2018, we did not think that we would have to take care of this again for a decade or so because it had been 18 years since the previous clean out when we had that done in 2017. So there's a lot of people that would rather just have it out of sight, out of mind, not have to, you know, even have to talk about it again at the meetings. So that we will definitely make sure that's brought up and discussed, and
Yeah.
if that is the decision of the HOA, then we will definitely move forward with that.
We had, just so you know, Nick, we do have other residential subdivisions in the county that have established county-regulated drains, and we do maintain them. So if it's something that the residents, the majority of the residents feel like they don't want to deal with in the future, this may be an attractive solution for them. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm happy to, I can meet with you privately, and we can go over it all if you want to. So, but just know it's available to you.
I will, yeah, once we discuss that on Monday, I will probably get a hold of you Tuesday, and
Yeah.
we'll get some, actually, what is today? Today is Wednesday. Might try to get a hold of you Friday, just so we can get some
Okay.
more information together before that meeting,
Yeah,
so I can have
that's
some
fine.
more information to present to them,
Yeah.
so I'm not empty-handed.
Yeah, no worries. You know where to find me.
I do indeed.
Thank you. Appreciate the update today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
All right. Anything else, Zach?
That is all I have for today.
Okay. Is there any public comment? All right. We do have the hearing on the Fred Hafner regulated drain that will start here in a few minutes after we adjourn the regular Drainage Board meeting. If nothing else,
Move to adjourn.
all right. Drainage Board meeting is adjourned.
I only heard from two, and we took care of one, and so I don't know.
Huh.
If I had to guess, I would say one, but I don't know.
Huh. All right. Brian, you want to do a quick walk out in the hallway, just make sure nobody's sitting on the bench? I know it's not going to be easy with voters out there, but,
Just chase them all in.
Yeah.
Tell them, hey, you got to come to this meeting.
You might just make an announcement that the hearing for Fred Hafner is getting ready to start. If you're here for that, please join us.
We want to hear you.
we want to hear you. Shout it.